Good evening. Today is February 19th, 2026. I'm Deborah Allen, your Community Board Aide, Traffic and Transportation Committee Chair. We're doing this all over. I had us on mute. Welcome the community and also DOT and MTA. I'm going to introduce the committee. I'm Debbie Allen. I'm your Traffic and Transportation Chair. Bob Bender, our Vice Chair, will not be here this evening. And I would like the rest of the committee to introduce themselves.
Margaret Della.
Deborah Harris.
And Sylvia.
Hi.
Sylvia is participating in the meeting via Zoom. She has ADA. We're just going to review the approval of the committee minutes for January 15th, 2026. Is there any questions or concerns regarding the minutes?
I have none.
None.
Seeing none, we move forward with
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion approved. Second.
excellent. So we're all saying aye, approving the minutes?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Dining out application for New York City Sidewalk Cafe for Dale Diner, located at 189 West 231st Street. Is the owner of that business present? Can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself? Do I have to do it? Or
I know that little
Who's
hand
it?
is.
Somebody's in the waiting room. Is that him?
I know. Why is the hand like that?
I don't know.
Mm,
Okay. You wanna take this over? Okay. It's like the big hand.
oh,
Miguel? You can hear me?
It might be on his end.
Yeah,
Oh, no. There you go.
okay, we can hear you.
yeah. My name is Miguel.
Can I have your last name, your full name, please?
Miguel Angel Mata.
And you're the business owner for Dale
Yeah,
Diner?
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
It's a restaurant. I am the owner. Me and my brother.
And your application is for
Sidewalk.
outside dining?
Yeah.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions for this business owner?
Not
Will
really.
the footprint be different than it was before?
Excuse me.
Will the footprint be different than it was before?
Yeah, that's different owner.
Can you tell us how?
Hello.
Can you explain how it will be different?
Can
Yeah,
you hear us?
yeah. I hear you not really well. That's why.
Can you explain what's different than what are you saying what you submitted to us is different than what we have in front of us? Something has changed or is the same application?
Yeah, that's different application. Yeah, now is have to renew the application for Sour Cafe. I have to waiting for the DOT and all this stuff, and I have to get the Sour Cafe. That's why I have to come to meeting here.
Is it an open it's an open cafe?
Yeah, this open. It's open.
No, I mean the structure. Is it
Whatever.
going to be the same shape as
Yeah,
it is
it's the same. The
before?
same. Yeah, the same shift. Yeah.
So
It's the same.
what
The
is
same like
different?
before. No, it's nothing different. Not the same one. The same one.
So maybe that doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Sylvia, this is a pro forma that we have to review and approve for this business. There's nothing, they're not adding any additional changes on the outside of the building. It's I think sort of something that's grandfathered in. I'm not quite sure. But there's no additional sidewalk space that's going to be taken up. It's just going to be what its existing structure is.
So it's only because the ownership changed.
No, I think it's a requirement through DOT that they have to get this approved by the community board on a regular basis.
Maybe I can jump in here real quick. Sorry. Hi, Teresa Cruz, Acting Bronx Borough Commissioner for New York City DOT. He just has to apply through us because the former program was not under DOT. Now anything on the sidewalk or the roadway as part of a business goes through DOT. So it's the same structure. It's just that he has to do it through a different agency.
I see.
Okay. Because by looking at this, I don't even see, oh, here it is. It's at the bottom picture. There is a structure outside. But the picture is not clear.
Yeah, but it's a fixed.
It's a fixed
Yeah,
part of the building.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see anything blocking. I don't see anything unsafe.
Could you clarify, is it the awning or is it what part of the structure do you know that is now under DOT's auspices?
Sorry, and that question is for me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Chris,
yes.
Yes.
It's any sort of dining program that's on the sidewalk or the roadway is through us. So because there's seats in that kind of extension, it's covered through our program.
But it's closed in, isn't it?
It looks closed in.
Yeah,
It is.
By the picture.
okay.
Okay, so I don't see any obstruction. I don't see anything it's been the same business in the same spot for many, many years, serving community board, 8 family members. And we want business to be successful here. They're not serving any alcohol. I haven't received anything from the precinct on this business. So I personally don't have any issues or any questions.
Same.
Same.
Sylvia, do you have any questions or concerns
No,
about this
those were
applicant?
my only questions,
Okay,
because I didn't see any difference.
I didn't see anything different with that. Okay, are we ready?
Sure. I move to approve the application.
I approve.
No, second?
Second.
Okay, we're gonna vote. Anybody against the applicant? Anybody opposed to the applicant? Everybody approves the applicant?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, approved. Miguel,
Okay.
we approved, so it'll also go before the full board meeting in March. And then you'll hear from us in writing.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
So you're welcome. So you can leave if you want, but you can stay on if you want to. But it looks like you have other things to do.
Better business, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes.
All right? Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Okay.
You too.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
So-
Thank you.
Okay, so next on the agenda is DOT. The topic this evening is milling and resurfacing schedule in our district.
Okay.
Hi.
No, yeah. I'm sorry, Ms. Cruz.
No worries. Hi, everyone. My understanding is that you guys have some questions about milling and resurfacing in Community Board 8, so I'm happy to answer. Generally speaking, we share the schedule at budget consultations back in September. I can reshare that with you. And what we
Okay.
try to do is resurface in areas that are close and like nearby, just because it's more efficient for us to keep the equipment all in the same area. So whatever locations you see in CB8 for this fiscal year, the following year we'll try to pick a different area and just try to distribute it, you know, as equitably as possible throughout the community board. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about that process.
So if the public has any concerns about potholes, streets that need to be resurfacing, what should be there? How should they follow through with DOT?
Sure. So we have our own tracking system, and I'm actually going to put a link to it in the chat. But we have our own web form that you can fill out with any street that you'd like us to look at for any future resurfacing. If it's just to fill a pothole, like you want it to just be filled up, that should actually go through 311. It's the quickest way to get it to our contractors. But I'm going to share DOT's
Oh, we
web
don't-
form.
We don't have access to the chat to be able to
Oh,
see it.
so I can email it to the board and
Yeah,
then,
email
yeah.
it to the board office.
no worries. So yeah, we have a public facing, it's on the DOT website. You can just submit a request actually for anything that you'd like us to look at. But that's the best place to put resurfacing requests.
Okay, so do that website.
Mm-hmm.
Does the September? I think somebody else is trying to get in. Could you resend us that schedule that you provided from September?
Sure.
And how do you know which from September, like which was done or not done? Do you keep that updated, or is it just one form that you just for the public?
Well, so what's shared at the budget consultations is just going to be the list of streets. You will get we send out what's called a weekly resurfacing notice the week before a street is going to be milled or paved, and that goes directly to the community board.
Did you receive any since September?
Usually we're in CB8 around the spring, so I don't think we've started in this area just yet. I'll double check that too.
Does any of the board committee members have a question? Sylvia, do you have a question about resurfacing and milling?
I think there's a project planned for the extension of Tibbet Avenue by JFK. Is that part of this program?
No, that street is owned by the Department of Education, so it's something that the School Construction Authority will take on.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I do have one question. In terms of reporting street or requesting street repavement or potholes, is there sort of like an internal deadline by when they need to be received in order to be acted on within the seasonal time frame, if you will?
Yeah, so we try to, so right now the FY26 schedule is already done. So I'll send you the list of the streets that we have, and I was correct, it is in March, April that we usually come to Community Board 8. So those streets will be milled and paved during the spring. We are currently working on the next year's schedule, so the sooner the better, I would say. Sometimes these streets are already streets that we looked at, and we've already included them, which is great. But, you know, I would say the sooner the better, because we're actively working on those like future contracts and future schedules. And so generally, like we can add it in if we have room, but for the most part, we're constantly working on this. So the sooner the better.
Deborah, do you have a question?
No, she answered it, that it could be added on, as long as you get it in, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Hi, Teresa. I do have one question. I had submitted something and had spoken with uh, Renee about this one short street segment. And you're probably familiar with it. It's underneath the Henry Hudson Bridge. It's the Palisade Avenue part there, and it's gone to hell because they were doing construction there for years, and it
Mhm.
made sense that you not repave it, you know, while they're dropping stuff, et cetera, et cetera. They've been done for more than a year. And it needs to be repaved. Now, I know your people looked at it and said, we'll fill the potholes. It needs to be milled and repaved. Again, hasn't been touched in many years. And given the steep slope, pothole fills will just go bad quickly. It really needs another eye to be completely repaved. And we're only talking about 75 or 100 yards.
Would this be included in, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the schedule currently, and we do have Palisade Avenue from Spalding Lane to Edsel Avenue. Does that
That's
encompass
the other
that
end.
area? That's the other side? Okay. So
Oh,
I
wait,
can take a
Spalding
look.
to Edsel? Spalding to Edsel, that's all of Palisade Avenue.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's more than a mile.
It's a generous section, and so I'm hoping that it includes the section you're referring to, but if
Okay.
it doesn't, I can ask our team if we can include it. The only other thing
Yeah,
I'll
just-
add is that for CB8, there are a list of private streets or streets that are not owned by the city, and then those are streets that we cannot resurface. So I want to check the status of that roadway before, you know, I can say that we will be able to extend it.
Yeah, Edsel Avenue, I think may be private, but Palisade to Edsel Avenue, that should be the Independence to Edsel segment, those 75 yards. Should
Okay.
be.
Okay, I
Thank
can
you.
have our team at least take a look at it since we're already going to be doing Palisade on the other side.
Do you know which months you might be addressing Palisade Avenue?
Usually we're there March, April. And the
Okay.
actual resurfacing schedule, like the weekly notice, will go out the week before. That's as soon as we can kind of give a notice.
Okay, March, April is a good approximation. Thank you.
So question, so those private streets, when you're not able to do it, do you notify them that the street needs to be resurfaced? Or the person that may have sent the concern, do you circle back around and say to them, it really, the street is owned by Mr. X, not us, please follow up with
Yes.
that?
So if you submit a request for a street that's not owned by the city, we will respond and let you know that that's why we're not able to address it.
But you say who is the person that is responsible?
So that's tough because for private streets, I don't know who would be then responsible. My assumption would be that the homeowners themselves or property owners themselves could take on the maintenance of that roadway, but that's not for us to say because it's private, therefore we just don't have jurisdiction. And so like for us, we want to be able to do it. And that's usually where we end because we then can't tell anybody who's supposed to do it. It's private. You can go to the Bronx BP's topographic unit to get more information on the status of the street. But yeah, generally my assumption is that then the property owners could just take it upon themselves to take care of the roadway.
One other thought, I'm sorry.
I have a
Please,
question.
please.
One other thing, the fact that we had so much snow, is there any allotment, like now that it's melting, that maybe something that wasn't there is now gonna be present and, you know, like there's extra time and space within the March and April pre-schedule?
So there isn't anything that we do necessarily like active work after snow, but we have a constant rating system. So we are evaluating these roadways on a constant basis. If a roadway has seen, obviously because of the snow and the erosion, a great amount of like need, then that's something we can prioritize for the fiscal year. That would be like upcoming. And then we can do like the regular pothole maintenance, at least in the interim while we get to that schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you could just send us the resurfacing schedule again and we'll post it on our website.
Sure,
So
I can do
people
that.
know it's coming. Any other questions?
Yeah, one other, since you mentioned Edsel Avenue, that's a little stub of a street coming off of Palisade, leading to the entry and exit of the Spuyten Duyvil Metro North
Metro
Station.
North, yeah.
I don't know if that access way is considered a private street or a Metro North street or what have you. You may want to check with them on that. I know that Jody had asked about it last time.
Okay,
So you may want to talk with them about that. Because that too is sort of a mess.
understood. Yep, we can take a look at who owns that roadway. I would guess that it's not us, but I don't know that like right now in this meeting, so I can follow up and check.
Okay, Etzel Avenue.
Yeah.
Between where and where?
It's like a loop road, so it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to say.
it's a little stub of a street that comes off of Palisade Avenue. So they can get onto this access down to Spuyten Duyvil, go through the parking lot and come back up. And I'm not sure which parts are called Edsel and
Stop, start, stop.
sort of.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions for DOT? Anybody in the community that's online? Yes. Ms. Fishman.
Hi, Wilden Fishman, 5270 Sycamore Avenue. My question is, since my deed says I have a mapped street, it's an old deed because the houses are in the historic district, and all of a sudden I'm told that it's been demapped. I found that a little bit disturbing. And I understand that it's because we'd have to have an engineering study and we'd have to have sidewalks on both sides. And because it's a historic district, that's going to be too tight a squeeze for sidewalks on both sides. And my question is, what in the world? How can they demap a street without telling the people that have it on their deed that it's mapped? So where we had street paving, and I was born here in 1950 and have lived pretty much all this time, and this is my mother's home. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So what happened there?
Well, my understanding of demapping is that that would require a ULURP action, which would go through the borough president's office. So I would recommend checking with them on what the legal status of that street is.
I know Europe very well, so very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else online with a question? Yes, Patrick Lewis.
Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. Hi. Is this specific questions about the pavement or is it just any question referring to DOT?
You can ask me anything.
Oh, great.
I'll just volunteer.
So I'm Patrick. I live on 231st and Bailey, right across the street from the newly added lovely bike lane. My question is, what could we possibly do to remedy the bike lane situation? Since it's been added, it's caused quite a, I wouldn't say disturbance, but it's hard to move around, especially on Bailey Avenue. I was there at the meeting when we were voting for it. I know that we voted no for the bike lane. DOT still added it, but neither here or there, the bike lane is negatively affecting the area. I tried to get a friend of mine who owns Sugar Girl Bakery across the street from me. I don't know if she's no longer in the meeting or not. I don't know. I think she's right here.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're here. Great. I wanted to get her input as well because it's negatively affecting her business. She's a business owner. I'm sure it's negatively affecting other business owners as well on Bailey Avenue.
Can you tell me more about what the negative impact is? Like, what exactly are you experiencing on Bailey?
So the bike lane, well, when it was first introduced, I was reading it. It said that it wouldn't necessarily take away parking. Did take away parking. That's number one. Number two, the amount of space. Now that it's one lane on each side, it's more dangerous to exit the car because it's no longer a double lane. See, the inside lane was used for the cars to go about their day, and the outside lane was to pull over. There's no more pullover space now. Cars are literally forced to either go or stop, and it's caused so much congestion. I documented it. I literally live outside, I see it every day, the increased congestion from rush hour. Also, it's already caused an accident too, by the way. Woke me up out of my sleep. A car flipped over due to the bike rail, the rail that's blocking the lane, and now cars can no longer just stop. Like, I'm not even a car owner and it's affecting me. Like, it's bad. It's not good. Nobody wants this. I've spoken to many people in the area. Nobody wants this. This is not a thing that is helping us. And it's not even being used. It's not even being utilized. Like, nobody, even the people, the delivery drivers, they're still riding bikes in the street or in the sidewalks. It's not something that we on 231st on Bailey Avenue needed or wanted. So I'm just trying to figure out, what could we do? Do I have to get signatures? I could get signatures. I could do it. Whatever we need to do, I could do it, because I've talked to a lot of people. I've lived here all my life, 30 years plus. This is not something that we wanted. So can you help me explain what I have to do? Or what is it that we could remedy the situation?
So I will say that, like, we're happy to go out there and meet with you and discuss what the conditions are. What it sounds like is that what you're referring to as double parking is not easy to do anymore on the corridor, but unfortunately that is an illegal action anyways. And so what I would love to do is study what the curb use is, because we're happy to put in a loading zone or maybe meters so that we can encourage turnover. Because it seems like if there's businesses, I'm assuming that that's what you're referring to, is like they're getting loading, they're getting, people coming in to like shop. And so we're happy to look at the curb use to make sure that it actually is like vital to the businesses that are there. The other thing I will say is that the project on Bailey Avenue was also because it's a Vision Zero priority corridor. There, like, the amount of accidents that we've had at Bailey Avenue and 230th, as well as like where the entrance and exit ramps at the Major Deegan, is pretty extensive. And so bike lanes are a tool that we use to calm traffic. Now, also, this project was only installed last year. We completed it in November. It does take some adjustment. And so I understand that there are frustrations now. So that's why I'm volunteering to come out and meet with you all. And then we can have like a productive conversation on what the curb use looks like, because I understand that we didn't make that many changes to the curb. And so happy to explore more to make it easier for people to access the businesses.
I actually reached out to you, and you in the email it said that there were 18 accidents. Now, no disrespect to that, but 18 accidents to where thousands of people are driving daily, like it's still just, I understand that it's a Vision Zero, everything. I understand I'm very in tune on what's the motive here with the bike lanes, but still, you're saying double parking. Before, there wasn't a double parking issue. It's people trying to come and go, and they're pulling over inside their car. There's no longer space for that, is what I'm trying to explain to you. It's either cars going or coming back. And this is also affecting the 1 bus and the 10 bus, by the way. It's not just affecting the cars, it's making buses go slower. So it's like literally doing the thing that you guys don't want to happen. Buses are slower because it's harder to turn into that one lane. You guys added only a left turn onto 231st, where you could only make a left on the outside, which blocks the buses coming and going from 231st. Like, I've literally recorded this. This is something that it's not just like, it's maybe causing a problem. It's causing a problem. It's delaying everybody, not just me. Again, I don't have a car. It's delaying everybody. This is a road strictly off the Major Deacon. When there's traffic on the Major Deacon, people get off the Major Deacon and go down Bailey Avenue. So these are thousands of people.
Mr. Lewis, we appreciate, you expressing the concern on behalf of your neighbors and also for yourself. So what you can do, if you have photos that are specific regarding the traffic and the issues on Bailey Avenue, please email it to the board office and we can coordinate with the DOT, and they'll be more than gracious enough to come out to see what we can do to try to mitigate some of the concerns that you have expressed. I know that we want businesses to be successful. We also want our pedestrians and also vehicles to be safe. And, we'll work together to try to come up with the best solution. Is there anybody else, that we haven't heard from that would like to express any concern with the DOT?
Hi, I'm Gladys. I'm actually the owner for Sugar Girl Bakery on 231st, the one that Mr. Patrick was speaking about. So, listen, my business has been here for 17 years. And after this bike lane was installed, it decreased the amount of customers I got in, people that just come in, let's say, to get a coffee in the morning. Now, because of the situation, I don't know if I can turn this. So look, this is the bike lane right here. And I know double parking, like, it was mentioned, it is an illegal, parking, but people would just come in, run in and come and grab a coffee and leave. And now I'm not even getting that. This pizza shop right next to me ended up closing down because of the traffic it was getting. It stopped completely. Like, we have cars that end up parking in the bike lane just to try and come and get something fast, because this is the only way they can actually find a way to come in and buy something. So if there was bikes going through here every day, I would completely understand the necessity of having it here. But in reality, look, we have a biker right now, and instead of using that, he's using the sidewalk. So no, they don't really respect or use the bike lane. They still are riding bikes on the bike lane. So anything that I can do so if I need to get signatures, if I got to get in touch with the rest of the businesses around here, I'm willing to do anything, because I really don't want to end up like my neighbor, closing down after 17 years that I've been here in business.
Gladys, we hear you, and what we will do, we'll probably try to coordinate with the Economic Development Committee and also with DOT to maybe do a walkthrough of Bailey Avenue and the businesses, so we can come up with solutions, because we need the businesses. We don't want businesses closing down. It's important to our vitality, and we're gonna coordinate something.
Thank you very much.
So can you please email the office so we can follow up with you, and maybe you could be part of that walkthrough?
Absolutely.
Community. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Just one more, yes.
Okay, Teresa, your instincts are correct. I drive that street often, and the biggest issue really is double parked cars and trucks, particularly a mid-block, where there's like a shipping transportation company and a couple of auto shops, and they are constantly double parked, and that's what causes people to go into the yellowed out middle section there. And also, I think the idea of metered parking to get the turnover would help a lot. And also getting traffic to come by and give out some tickets. Double parking, there's no double parking for a reason. That is a thoroughfare. And that would help get people to not double park there.
Yeah, I think I can definitely reach out to my sister agency, NYPD, to come out and do enforcement, especially, like I said, we only finished this project at the end of last year. And so targeted enforcement does help with behavior. And like I said before, we have lots of tools at our disposal. Our goal is also not to negatively impact businesses. So I'm happy to go out there with you all and kind of talk more about what we have and what you're experiencing, so we can come up with a solution.
Okay, excellent. So we're gonna move along on our agenda. Item number 6, accessory and Jonathan?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Flynn. I'm the Assistant Director of Government Communications for New York City Transit, and I'm also the Bronxboro rep, sorry. It's a late night. I know you guys have questions about Access-a-Ride. I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have.
So how would the public receive Access-a-Ride? What's the process? And also, what's the process if the community board wanted to add an additional stop specifically for Access-a-Ride?
Yes. So if you want to apply for Access-a-Ride, you just call the Access-a-Ride number. It's 877-337-2017. You call, you will select option number 4. Our representatives are available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. Once you call, you will be required to attend an in-person assessment to determine your eligibility. Once you set up your appointment, you will receive a packet in the mail within 5 days. It'll have your appointment date. Also, will have details how you can get a free round trip to the assessment center and back from the assessment center. And once you get to the assessment center, we're just going to determine whether you're eligible by seeing whether you can walk up down subway steps, whether you could travel to the bus stop or subway stop, whether you could get on or off the bus, and whether you could exit the bus or subway as well.
So you can only get access to the Access-a-Ride application online. That's the only way. And there's a website.
You have to call the number, and then they'll mail you an application. Because once you get your application, it will have your appointment date for the in-person assessment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would we go about if we wanted to have a specific stop for Access-a-Ride?
Yeah, so
'Cause I
just
know-
tell me what's. Yep, go ahead.
Because there are people expressing by where the Target is on 225th Street off of Broadway.
Let's
That-
make sure there's not already one there. Okay. So the process is pretty simple. Just tell me the location, and the MTA and DOT will review it. And what we will review for is demand, accessibility, safety, and street impact. If those things are all clear, we will approve the stop.
Deborah, do you have a question?
Not regarding Access-a-Ride, no.
Or anybody?
No.
No.
No, I don't know, is this the time to talk about when we had the meeting?
No, well, that's
Okay.
next.
So no, I don't have anything.
Sylvia? She had a question. We're gonna
She
skip
stepped
to
away.
David. She stepped away.
Quick question, Mr. Flynn. My neighbor just went through her interview. Hopefully she'll get approved. I'm confused about this designated pickup site. I thought Access-a-Ride was door to door.
So basically what this is for, if there is a central location where there's high traffic, so let's say Yankee Stadium, basically what this designated stop is a designated stop that no one can park in except for Access-a-Ride vans.
Like we have one on Riverdale Avenue on 258, right by the old Key Food.
I see, okay.
So
We also have
people
one
are-
by Dialysis Center. It's mainly heavy commercial corridors.
I see, okay.
Yeah. And it's mainly designed so drivers aren't letting people off in the street. They have a safe space they can let them off on the curb.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Anybody in the community with a question with Mr. Flynn and Access-a-Ride? No? Okay, well, there is no questions on that, so now we're gonna move along to the follow-up walkthrough with MTA on West 261st Street and Broadway.
Yes.
Yes.
So we had a successful visit last month, I believe. It was cold, but we had a successful visit on site. The situation is it's tougher to solve than we thought because we have to deal with the B line as well. And this block is very short, and a lot of the buses on this route are accordion buses. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way we can make sure buses can pull into the stop and the next bus can see the customer. So we're trying to weigh our options, whether we need to change the bus stop or we need to make other adjustments in that particular area. But right now we're studying the situation. Hopefully we'll have a results in by next month. But we have spoken with our bus drivers along that corridor to be more cognizant of bus bunching. That means the same bus showing up at the same time. So if one bus shows up, they go further to the end of that block, and then the next bus, hopefully a different bus line, will come up behind it, so customers know that can safely get onto the bus.
Okay.
Have you
So,
experienced any? Has the situation got any better over there? Because our road ops team has been out there for inspections as well.
no, not necessarily. Thank you for scheduling the walkthrough, but that's just one part of it, because that's southbound. And, you know, the other issue was the northbound, which is the last stop, and where it ends, and how people are crossing Broadway to walk west with no signal, no yield, no crosswalk. So any update about that?
Yeah, as I said in the site visit, that's more of a DOT issue with that particular issue. That's not an MTA issue we can resolve in terms of crosswalks and signs like that.
I'll
and yield
just,
Yeah, but
signs.
I thought you said you were gonna reach out to them to, I might be mistaken because it was freezing that day. Reach out to them because they also need to be there so that they can actually observe what it is that we say, because, you know, saying it and you don't see it, it has two different meanings. You know, that you really have to be on site to experience the flow and the lack thereof traffic signals and control. Did you reach out to them, or is that something we should do? Or is that,
Yeah.
oh, Ms. Cruz?
I was just
There you
gonna
are.
chime in and say,
Yeah.
you can send me an email. We can look at any condition, especially like we can initiate a traffic signal study. I could see if we already did one. But there's a lot of like tools that we can use to help people cross here. So just send me an email.
So, right, okay, and we were at the public safety meeting, and one of the lieutenants or sergeants that were giving us the stats, he said that the precinct also put in something to the DOT because they had to go there themselves to observe, because there was a tragic accident that happened there at the end of January. So that forced them to kind of like see, you know, go over there and see what's going on. So maybe if the precinct is doing from the public safety side, or we're saying from the neighbors, you know, it really seems that it has, like, this needs to be done hopefully before that building opens with 140 new residents.
Can you remind me again what the location is, please?
I'm gonna email it to you, Ms. Cruz.
Okay,
So you have it one, so it'll be in writing. It's 261st Street, 263rd and Broadway. So
okay.
it's a pretty long corridor, and I'll also send you the photos. So
Thank
you have
you.
yeah, because it's unfortunate, because I believe there was a gentleman that got hit by a car there on January 30th and was dragged from the Riverdale border of the Bronx into Yonkers. Yeah. It was on News 12.
There was a freak accident, you know, but we don't want anything like that to happen again, and that one shouldn't have happened either. So yeah, so thank you. We'll follow up.
I was gonna make a joke about
No,
the
it's sad. Yeah.
and the
Man was
earth.
dragged. Yeah.
News 12, look that up.
Yeah. All right. So anything else from the public on Broadway 261st in the corridor for MTA? No. But I do have something else for you, Miss Cruz, that we just I don't want to overlook this, is the street light outings. There's a lot.
Street light
Um,
outages, yeah.
Yeah, and we have, we have numbers for the DOT, the street light out on West 238th Street and Gradestone Avenue, Fieldston Avenue, Henry Hudson Parkway Road, and we have the work orders for them.
Yeah,
Outage.
I believe I received an email with all of this information earlier today, so I'll be sure to provide a response to the community board as soon as possible.
Because it makes it unsafe. It, leads people, to be victims of crime. And, we need to shed a little more light on the situation, no pun intended. to try to make it safe for everybody here in our area.
Of course, I understand. And I know that Henry Hudson Parkway, we've had a couple of outages around the service roads. We've been working to try to get them fixed. And so I can, like I said, I'll get an update for you all to share with the board and like an official response, given that we received this email today. I'm hoping to do that, you know, at the latest by next week.
But can we help you with, we're working now on our budget priorities. Is there anything that maybe we could help with adding to our budget priorities and, you know, just working with the DOT that we could put on our list as a community board aid to help get some of these issues fixed, or is it strictly DOT and we can't help in that way?
So it depends on what the issue actually is. That's why I have to check the statuses for each of these. If it's anything repair wise, there isn't anything that like funding wise would be helpful because all of that is done through our like in-house contracts. But if there's something more extensive that's needed, then maybe there the community board can advocate for additional funding. So let me check what the issues are with each of these locations, and then I can report back on like what would be helpful here.
So please let us know, because we're willing to work with you any way we can to put it on our priorities for our budget for the 2028.
Man.
Oh, sure.
So I think streetlights really are just strictly a responsibility. You know, if it's out, it's got to be replaced as opposed to a project. So it's an ongoing thing. I would note that I had noted to Renee that there were many lights out on the Henry Hudson Parkway itself, and they seem to have largely been addressed, but now there are many that are flickering. And when I say many, more than a dozen in the stretch from the sawmill in Yonkers, all the way down to the Henry Hudson Bridge. And I'll see it tonight when I drive home. There's more than a dozen that are flickering badly.
Okay, and so those are lights that we repaired, but now they're flickering, is what you're saying, correct?
Well, I can't tell if it's a 1-for-1.
Okay.
And I think it's actually a state responsibility, but still, you know, they're your brethren and you have a closer tie.
Understood. Okay, so let me see what the updates are for each of these locations. If there's anything that would be helpful for CBA to advocate for, I can let you know. And then just generally what the time frame for repairs will be.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, we have budget priorities, which we're going to table because we have two of our key people not here tonight. So we're just going to table it for the March meeting.
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to table number 8. And we're going to go on to new business, which is an issue with the double parking of the postal mail trucks on the Broadway corridor causing issues. So I just have a question for the DOT. Is there any specific signage that the US Postal Service could either get or use that they can have a designated spot?
If I remember this site correctly, I believe they already do. There should already be authorized parking signs for USPS in front of the postal, the front of the Postal Service.
Can I give you a little history? I'm very familiar with this because this has been going on for a very long time. Years ago, we brought this to the attention of then Congressman Elliot Engel, who put pressure on the postmaster at that location, and they stopped doing it. Now, DOT has done a very good job. They've got these bright red signs right there on Broadway that say no standing any time, which means no standing anytime. And there's a reason why you did that, because that is a pinch point exit from the Major Deegan. And so there should never, ever be a postal truck there. And now that they're doing the work on the subway above it, it's even worse because there are barricades. The problem has gotten accentuated because there's a property behind the post office building Godwin Terrace or whatever it's called, that the postal trucks used to park every night. But it's been sold to a developer. Okay, that happens. But the issue now is frankly, the postmaster or the postal staff don't care. It's easy for them. They can leave the trucks there. And I've actually brought this to Richie Torres's office's attention, and basically the representative there says, hey, it's a postal service. They don't have license plates. It's not their personal trucks. They're not going to get tickets. This is where coordination between DOT, NYPD, the Postal Service, and the Congressman's office have to come in to get them to never ever park there. And I mean, you properly have those bright red signs that say no standing anytime. Maybe the sign should say no stopping anytime, which is even more strict. But still, there has to be enforcement. And just because they're government vehicles doesn't mean they get to leave literally 10 trucks there overnight, which makes it very difficult, particularly for the express buses that come off the Deegan and try to turn there and go up. So it's a big coordination issue with at least 4 agencies.
Yeah, I'm looking at the existing conditions right now, at least based on Street View. And it looks like on the side of the Postal Service, we have no parking anytime signs. And then on the opposite side of the street, we have no standing anytime. Yeah, I'm happy to explore what we can do to kind of help here. And then obviously we need our, help with from NYPD for enforcement, because we can put the signs up, but if nobody enforces them, then they don't work as well.
But somebody's got to be able to reach out to the postmaster and say, these are your people, these are your trucks, stop it.
So what would be the best venue to do that? Would it be us as the community board to reach out to them, or the DOT?
I think DOT.
Sorry, sorry, I'm not
Yes,
sure if that's a
sorry.
discussion point or if that's a question
Yes.
directly to me.
Yes. Yes, Ms. sorry.
I mean, we can, but really it's like our signs are up, and so it's like an enforcement issue. So really NYPD should be the one enforcing this condition. Happy to do something joint with NYPD, maybe to reach out, because I guess like for our purposes, the signs are up, they're just not adhering to them. So yeah,
Correct.
happy to explore, maybe if the community board could send a joint email to the 50th precinct and myself, happy to maybe do like a joint effort to reach out to get compliance.
Okay, excellent.
Do you have anybody in like government affairs for the federal government, with i.e. the post office and or the congressman's office? Because that's where it's going to happen.
We can certainly get one. I can't say that I have one off the top of my head, but we can get one.
Okay.
We have like other not issues, but like every time we need something relocated, that is like USPS, we have general contacts for that. But I'm assuming this would have to go higher up than that. And so we can get contacts.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to include the Congress member also in that email. Like I said, happy to do this in like a joint effort.
We could do that. We could do that. Sylvia, would you like to add anything on to this?
No, I think it's covered.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing, but it's also related to DOT. Somebody in our community was hit by a car on 256th Street and Riverdale Avenue. I know I requested a 2 spots for a study, and the response I got back was, the assemblyman and the congressman did a study, and basically we're not doing another study, we're not doing another turning lane. So I know you said no, but the person was hit like last month by a car. Is there any way that we can, I know they didn't get killed, we wouldn't want that, but is there anything we can do to do another study to have like a turning lane?
The vehicle
near
was
the
hit
school.
because it was turning left.
No,
and it got-
a person walking the street, a pedestrian was crossing the street and was hit by a car.
Okay. A left turning vehicle though, is what I guess I'm trying to ascertain.
Was the left turning vehicle heading west, away from the school?
going towards the school.
Ah,
Okay. If you can send me that information again, I can see if we have anything else. I think the thing is that the left turn study, it does not meet the criteria for, and it's unlikely that it will meet the criteria now. But I can see what else we can look at to try to calm traffic in that intersection. And I know we did our Riverdale Avenue SIP a few years ago now, so I'll check in with that project team as well to see how we're evaluating like the monitoring of that corridor.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so that's it. We have nothing else left on our agenda for tonight. Anything from the community that are online? Patrick? Miguel? That's it, nobody else? Deborah, do you have anything?
Yes, one of my neighbors, this is for Miss Cruz, had asked me a question. So at the train station stop at 242nd Street, there is no seating to wait for the bus. There are seating, but it's a little further north and it appears to be more for the Beeline customers. So when an elderly person or someone with a stroller or carriage is waiting for the 9 bus, there's no seat there. I know it's a small space, so like from my observation, I figured maybe that's why. But I did say that I would bring it up at the meeting. Are you familiar with the area?
Yes, I know how heavy that multiple bus stops are at that location. This is right by Van Cortlandt Park, right? This is the
Yeah.
location. I will say it is a tighter like sidewalk space, but if you send me a request, I'm happy to take a look at it and at least see if it meets the criteria, or if not, at least provide a response about why it doesn't. But I don't think we've looked at it recently, so I'm happy to take a look.
Where's this again?
This is 242nd Street.
the end of the
Hold
one
on.
line.
42.
Yeah.
And Broadway.
And Broadway, a place for people to sit.
Yeah, a little further south than because there are some existing benches, but it's really closer to the Westchester bus,
But you're still talking about north of the
North.
staircase.
the staircase.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
or anywhere, whatever, she can check it out and
They made a
see.
huge mistake putting the
I
elevator
will
on the others.
I will add any spaces that are kind of, if we can't fit like benches, we do have things like leaning bars, which at least just
That would
gives
be-
somewhere, like for people to get some
Yes.
respite. So those type of things we can definitely fit in these type of locations.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that may work
appreciate that.
better.
Yeah, that's probably better because I'm not an expert, but I myself can realize that it's really narrow. So I don't, and people have to have
Pass.
clearance to enter the subway. So we can't block that also.
Right.
And you also have construction down there on the corridor.
Across the
Oh,
street.
that's on the
Across
other
the street,
side.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mess. I don't even want to. I know you don't want to talk
She's
about
referring
that.
to the side. Broadway.
Yeah, but it's.
The construction's on the store side, Broadway.
Yeah, if you send me a request, we can at least look at what infrastructure we can include and then we can respond back with that.
Okay.
Is the person on the iPhone, do they have their hand up?
No.
No, ma'am.
That's just her cursor.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to miss anything. Okay, I don't have anything else, but I do have correspondence that the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure are having a hearing. Please be advised that the New York City Council Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure will be holding a title hearing oversight on street planning update, assessing the state of the street plans in 2026 on March 3rd at 10 a.m. And it's going to be via Zoom. So that is happening. If people are interested in that. And also that there's been some updating information, which we just found out about, notice on mailing list for future concessions. So if the New York City Department of DOT is seeking individual and businesses interested in being contacted for future requests for bids or proposal for DOT concessions, Typical DOT concessions include food and beverages, sales and merchandise, farmer markets, bicycle parking, vending machines, e-bikes, so on and so forth. Please look at the DOT concession website if you need any additional information on that. So we'll also post that information on our community board website, that information. So if there's no other business, Sylvia, do you
Yes.
have anything you want to add before we close out the meeting?
Well, I'd like to reestablish the crossing by Key Food and to West 235th Street. 3 years ago, a 99-year-old woman was run down and died. And there is a four-way stop sign, but the cars don't stop. And enforcement, although there was a cop there the other day, he was very busy talking to a resident and didn't stop anybody or give any tickets. We've told DOT many times, and it's really an enforcement thing. It should have a light because that would stop all traffic. It's a block from Johnson Avenue, and I guess that they don't want to do that, but for the sake of the people that cross there, which are older and with carriages and whatever, especially when it snows, there's no place to cross. It's a very dangerous thing. I live right on that block, so I'm afraid of my own well-being. And I wondered if you seem so open to looking at things and trying to solve them, if you would be kind enough to do that.
Sure, I'd be happy to look at this location. I'm also wondering, well, I mean, as you mentioned, it's an enforcement issue, right? Whether it's the stop sign or a signal, it should be adhered to no matter what. But
Yeah.
I'm also wondering if there's maybe some traffic calming tools that we could use here if it doesn't meet the criteria for a signal to get vehicles to slow down.
Well, we did have something installed, but it doesn't really slow them down. They just refuse to look at the sign.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking more like, have we ever done a speed hump study in this area or anything else that we have that like
They put something going east and west on on the roadway, but that really is only good for the turning left or right. It
Oh, we
doesn't
did
stop
left
the
turn timing.
traffic.
Okay. Okay. I can explore
No,
this
east and west is
intersection.
where the problem is.
I can explore this intersection and see what else we have. I think the last time we did a study was recently. I want to say it was like 2020.
Not too recently. I keep bringing it up, but I'm not successful in getting anything done.
I can take a look at it and at least I can
And when
follow.
when you stand there, everybody that goes across says it's so dangerous, you know? It is so obvious. If you park the car there, you will see that 3 out of 4 cars don't stop. And they're not going slow. So that, you know, I don't know why more accidents don't happen.
Well,
But they
that's very
will.
unfortunate. I would like for everyone to adhere as they're supposed to any sort of regulation on the street. But if the board could send me an email, I'm happy to take a look at it again. And see, like, number one, if we can redo the study for a traffic signal, or if there are other tools that we can use to physically slow down vehicles.
Well, that's good
But I'm happy
news.
to report back.
Oh, thank you very much.
And Sylvia, it's 235th and where?
235th and Oxford.
Oxford. Yeah, I think we did. We sent you a notice.
We've
last
done
year.
that a number of times in the 3 years.
We can
We'll do it again.
Nothing.
We can redo a traffic signal study if it's been 3 years since the last study. So that's where I have to check. I don't know exactly when we did it. But if we're within that 3-year mark, then we can redo the study and see if it meets the criteria now.
We
Okay, so
had
it
a
has to be-
meeting up at St. Margaret's where the commissioner was and his assistant commissioner, And I spoke to both of them and didn't produce anything. He no longer is the commissioner.
Understood. Yeah. So if the board can send me this information, happy to take a look at what we did, and see if it meets the criteria to redo the study, or if there's anything else that we can do at this intersection. I'm happy to, you know.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. David?
Teresa, does DOT do raised crosswalks?
So we do some of them in-house and some of them are done through Department of Design and Construction.
But we do them.
Yes.
And what other traffic calming could there be at a four-way stop sign?
So, I mean, we can do things like speed hump studies. That's the other like physical element that could deter vehicles from speeding. I don't know. I'm assuming this area is not adjacent to a school, but I wonder if a speed
It's a block away.
study- Oh, it's a block away. Okay. We can look at a speed camera as well.
That was suggested, but I don't think it was ever done.
Okay. So yeah, if you send me the location, I can take a look at all the adjacent streets because I know it's the intersection, but everything leading there is probably also causing the issue here. So I'm happy to take a look, see what we've done, and then at least I can report back on what is feasible and what is not.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, so there's nothing else on the agenda. Anybody else? Camilla, you just came on. Do you wanna have a question or concern? I see you are online.
No, ma'am, but thank you.
Now, okay,
I just a quick question about Dell Diner. Is that just to renew their enclosed cafe?
it's just a semantics because DOT is now taking that over.
But it's their existing
Yeah,
enclosed
it's
cafe.
existing.
You're not gonna expand?
No,
Okay,
everything.
that's fine.
Everybody on that. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you just end the meeting? Just put pause?
Or pause.
Yeah,
Oh, I think I ended it, right?
yeah, okay,
End it?
yeah. Because there was another button.